Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, Internet. It's good to see you again. How have you been? Let's get this out of the way for a second. We have an exciting video. Um, it's gonna be another art. And yes, it is 1:18 a.m., January 14th, 2021. And it has been an interesting year so far. You know, Trump just got impeached for a second time. Cheers! Opa! Can you see all my nails? Cheers! Drink green tea, it's good for your health. Check out my nails. I'm pretty proud of them. Do 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 do. I catch myself looking at them all the time. All the time. Yep, they look good. I'm getting better at this whole lighting and setting up the camera, and now you can hear my voice, so audio too. And funny story, just as you know, we're vlogging as well because this is live COVID. Don't forget to wear a mask. Boop 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 boop. Can I? I'm gonna put it over. What if I did the whole video like this? Wouldn't that be funny? So anyways, make sure you wear a mask and make sure you wash your hands, everybody. Because if you are clean and hygienic, then less of a chance of you getting sick. So yeah, thanks again for coming to Butterfly Square Garden. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's good to help the channel grow because we're saving up to become a 501c3 nonprofit organization that plants specifically like examples. I would say thistle. I planted a lot of thistle. We show you guys every video, but there's our thistle patch. Um, hello. Yeah, I've been saying that our willow trees have been our mascot, but I'm starting to think that the thistle is actually the real mascot. They're the MVP of the butterfly world because the caterpillars love thistle, and um, winter is about halfway through. So, in a month or two, we'll be able to take it outside and um, growing plants outside is so much easier than growing plants inside, so I can't wait for that to happen. Art, art, art. I was in Austin when I discovered that I was a teaching artist through a nonprofit organization with kids after school in this elementary school. It was the most wonderful experience. I would get them after school and then round them up, make sure they wash their hands, come into the lunchroom. We do like a quick attendance, and then we'd go outside for recess and play bunny catcher or whatever. But that was everyone's favorite. And then we'd go inside and we would have like a snack time or a lunch time, and everyone would unwind. And then the teaching artists would have their lessons, and a lesson plan would usually consist of like an hour long uh, plan for the day. And one of the things that I loved doing with the kids, it's what got me the job, was I was influenced by a book called Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain, which helped me get into LaGuardia High School, which is famous for arts. So this is going back a long way. Anyways, I just want to teach um, formal art training to everyone. Honestly, I decided to become a teacher in order to become a better artist. But It's just such a wonderful thing to do. But here's something I want to show you before we start drawing anatomy. That's what we're doing today, anatomy. Um, if you can draw yourself, you can draw pretty much anything. That's like a general rule of thumb, in my opinion. So here is a little of example of the work that we did together every single day. Oh wow. I love this book. This is one of my most prized possessions. Um, I'm, am I upside down? Uh-oh, I'm gonna have to flip my phone. I'm just gonna show you real quick, and then we're gonna get into the drawing. But yeah, the kids. Oh, wow, this is not the best phone setup. Is that better? Did that make it worse? I think that made it worse. Do 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 do. This job is like all camera angles and lighting. So yeah, this was Sebastian. He didn't last very long, but even um, between the 2 days, there was a huge improvement. And so the gist was I would sit the kids down and I would have them draw a self-portrait. They had little hand mirrors and a piece of paper and a pencil, and I would be like, draw yourself for 5 minutes. That's it. No rules, just do it. And sign it and date it. And we would do that every single day. Um, and just to show you a couple, like Haley, oh, each kid had their style. Like, oh, Haley. They draw on the back too, so I'm not able to see everything. Oh, Story. This is what Story, I mean, that's basically what she looked like, And then they get better and better. Um, yeah, so like these kids are young, and I started drawing when I was like 13, and these kids are like 7 or 8. See, that is like a huge difference than the first one. Well, maybe, I guess not. Wow, that's pretty similar. She's got a neck in that one and lips. She missed her eyebrows. I guess she was rushing that day. Oh, look, but they get the circle and the eyes and the nose and the mouth. Scarlet. Oh, Scarlet. You know, um, the biggest, what is it, thing that you have to leap over when learning how to draw is you just have to draw. They would have so much fun with these things. Um, you know, only after a couple tries they would get better after each one, and they would be like, Mr. Jason, Mr. Jason, that was my name. Um, oh, like if I use the side of my pencil lightly, it looks like it's skin. And I'm like, oh yes, that's shading. Um, you could also tell a lot about them psychologically through their drawings. So this is Nora, and I can remember so clearly each of these kids, and it just speaks volumes. Within volumes of this novel of their pictures. But look how small Nora drew herself. Could you guess what kind of personality Nora had? Like, it's funny because her older brother was so outgoing, but she was just the shyest little girl. And she just does this little tiny drawings. They get a little bigger as she gets more confident. Look, every single one, she gets more confident. And then a girl brought in colored pens, and they just had a lot of fun with it. So these are just a couple kids. Ooh, that one, they drew themselves as Powerpuff Girls that day. Um, We're only 10 minutes in, so I can keep going. Look at that one. She put herself in a bed of flowers. Like, these kids were so creative. That picture's upside down. Is it? What am I? Oh my god, I've been showing you guys upside down the whole time. How did that happen? That's hilarious. Um, how did that happen? I like was so sure. Was Sebastian's upside down? Like, how did that happen? There's no way. I can't believe. I was like looking at it upside down on the screen too. Anyways, I'm gonna contact the families, and I'm gonna put it together as a book, and I'm gonna put my commentary on each of the kids. But I also want the kids to write their own commentary. Look at this, Zella Huffman, 9/4/2018. Look at that beautiful. I love you. And they're writing comics to each other. This is one of the most healing and like confident building and personality shaping. Hi, stop, frowny face. Like you could tell so much about them through their drawings. Oh my goodness. I know it's just like crappy kids drawings, but like their souls, they drew themselves. This is more than them. This is like them as a concept and abstract, and she put her crown on herself. Oh, Zella. She was interested in like gemstones. Hi, my name is Zella. My last name is Pryor. They need to see these. Towards the end of the exercise, like once they got the hang of drawing themselves, I would be like, why don't you write something too to go along with the image? So now the kids had like a visual voice. That's what Mr. Ethan called it. He was my wow. Mr. Ethan, shout out. Like you were a teacher. All of you guys. Look how pretty my nails are. They're so pretty. La 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 la. Drink green tea. It's good for your health. Riaz. Whoa, Riaz. I haven't looked at this book in like 2 years. 2018 was only 2 years ago. Oh my god. Riaz was a shy little boy, but it was so difficult to get him focused. He was just like me. You see yourselves in the kids. Oh, Riaz. They'd always draw them, all the kids, they'd just give themselves little pig noses, triangle pig noses. Look at the long hair, Riaz. Really? I don't think you ever really. No, I'm thinking of a different one. Riaz was actually. I don't know if transgender is the name. You know, physically assigned male at birth. Ugh, I don't really know how to define it, but she was non-binary, but she was a she. She was a she, but the other little girls told me about how she would pee standing up in the bathroom. So some little girls have penises. What can I say? It was a little girl, but she still liked swords. Look at this, Riaz. Three eyes on this one, Riaz. What does that mean? These kids are so weird. That's what I thought. I remember. The next one, Riaz has five eyes. What does that even mean? I'm gonna I need to buy a scanner because I don't really want to use my phone to take pictures of all of them. Avi was who I thought Riaz was for a second. Avi was the really shy one. Riaz was really outgoing for who she was. I don't know, for her circumstances. It was such a welcoming environment that there were several non-binary or non-gender conforming kids. Ugh, it was the best school. Oh, Avi, with their little tiny mirrors. Like the mirrors were like this big. The kids are so cute. Dang, Avi. It was just like a practice, and then hooray, I'm getting a new toy. Avi, like, uh, he was a little Indian boy. Avi, the 27th, 2018. Like, they could barely write their names, but they had no trouble drawing their faces. Like, pictures are just a universal language. Scarlet. She would be like, my parents say I have too many toys. There's just no space to put them. So some of these kids were privileged. They would be like, oh yeah, for vacation, we're just going to London. We're going to France. We're going to our vacation home in the other country. And I'm like, I can't afford shoes. Like the kids would say, Mr. Jason, why is there tape on your shoes? And I would be like, I can't afford shoes. Tell your parents to buy me shoes. But they wouldn't. I am mad. You are bad. Go away. Bad. Sit tick. I don't know. Scarlett liked cats. That's Scarlett as a cat in that one. That's funny. Again, one girl brought colored pens and just shared it with everyone. Like, oh yeah, bam! That is some improvement. Look at that crazy Scarlet with the improvement. Scarlet! Oh man, I was gonna do a picture drawing sesh myself, but I'm just having so much fun with this book of my kids' drawings. Scarlet. So like as you can see, each kid has like a couple weeks worth, and we're just going through. Um, but these are kids who have never drawn anything in their life, basically. Theo is the next Einstein. He would just take a minute to get through a sentence, and he would just stop and think and think and think so deeply. In the same way that Einstein, like everyone thought he was dumb when he was a kid, like no offense, Theo, but like he's slow, but he's like really smart. It's hard to describe. Look at those long hairs. He was a boy with long hair, so that's how you draw it as a kid. Drink green tea, it's good for your health. Oh my goodness, Theo discovered how to draw a body in that one. Look at that. More, it's getting there. This one is like more proportional. It's getting there, you know. The hair is there, the face. I mean, it's just the last couple obviously are like really wonky faces, but then when you compare it to the first one, it's like that's a world of difference. So I'm just saying. In the last one, he says, "I love cheetahs." Like he's gonna see that as an adult. Nico is the other super shy girl. Can you tell? So small. These kids just loved cats. She's a dog in that one. Another cat and a dog. It's like each kid has a little series. Nico, cat, dog, cat, heart. Oh, whoa! She went for a full-on face for that one. Look at the jump. She's like a little tiny one there, and then like, boom! Full-on face. She like kind of goes back. That's like how the progress works. You go up, you go down. That was the day that they all did their Powerpuff Girl thing. One girl did it, and then all the girls had to do it. So it's like you get flashes of like, oh man, Adele, she barely wrote it. She's like, script, I don't know, Adele. Adele was like friends with the bossy girl, but she found her confidence through her drawing. Whoa! It's like that's the size of a quarter. The next one is like a full on drawing of a person. And then the next one is like a portrait, because I'm telling them to draw exactly what you see, which is just your face in the mirror. So like they would make things up, but then as they'd go along, they would like actually try to draw what they see. She's still missing her eyebrows. There's no like lips or anything, but like that's them drawing their face that they're looking at in the mirror. On September 11th, 2018. Wow. I guess she liked to be like winking. There is a big jump because they would like get picked up early. So some days would go by. There she got her eyebrows. She's got teeth in this one. She's drawing her earrings. It's just her eyelashes. Each time you draw, you get a little further. Oh my God, Genevieve. She was so proud of this. She thought this was the best drawing. I was trying not to crack up. This girl had such confidence. Oh my God. I love when kids are like, this is the greatest. I'm so good. She was I don't have COVID. I'm okay. Oh my God, Genevieve. Oh my God, Genevieve. What the hell? Shush. Oh my God. She left early. I wrote that in. She could have done better. Oh my God. Genevieve. I'm sorry. I convinced her to pull out her tooth because it was hanging by a thread, and she was just like so scared. It took her like an hour, and then all the other girls were like cheering her on, and they were like, "Go, you can do it! Be brave!" And she finally pulled it out with like a paper towel, and she was so proud of herself. And I wasn't. I really wanted to yank it out, but you're like not allowed to touch the kids. Which is sad because you'd be like sitting down and they would come and like sit in your lap and they would want hugs and you'd be like not allowed. You could because the other teaching artists were like one in particular would always have like four or five kids hanging off of him and then the other girls would like always, the kids would just like want to hold your hand and like hug you and I kid you not like they would just grab your shirt and like rub their face and wipe their nose on you. I may have been angry at a kid for like sneezing on me or coughing in my face. I'd be like, "Don't do that." Charlie. Um that is really good, Charlie. I got to say I was impressed. The next one, not as good, but they can't all be winners. Oh, man, I miss these kids. I miss these kids. Look at those pointy teeth. What are you, a shark, Charlie? Um, it's interesting how they start out with like little weird nothings and then they like start to get like the oval shape with the eyes and the nose and the mouth. Obviously, that's what a face is, but these kids are doing better. Their parents like can't draw. I think if anyone who can read and write, if you're an adult and you can't read and write, it's like that's you would pause and be like, "What did something happen to you?" But then they're most adults like can't draw at all. So I feel like after I go through these portraits of these kids, I'm going to draw the anatomy with y'all and we're all going to work on it together because if you could draw yourself, you can draw anything. And the more you know of the anatomy of your face, the less mysterious it is. And then when you combine that with practice and a little, time and you just enjoy it. It's fun. Drawing is supposed to feel good. It's like a nice, calming experience. And we can get into the emotional lateralization and experience dependent neuroplasticity, some of my favorite concepts and topics of discussion, but we don't need to do that. Basically, drawing helps you because it's a global task, which takes up all parts of your brain, just like riding a bike or reading. Um, Eli was a disturbed child. You can see in his drawing from right away. And this is after several days of him refusing to participate. He thought that he couldn't draw, which he couldn't because he's a kid, and kids haven't been taught how to draw. But then again, drawing is intuitive. Everyone can do it. If you could write your name, you can draw. So, they would just typically be like crumpled up and be like ripped. He would stab the pencil through them. But even just between this is scribbles, and then this is a face. It's kind of like a Terrence and Phillip, like a Canadian one, but that's good. The next one though, he drew himself shooting someone. I'm pretty sure that's what he was shooting something or someone, or he was being shot. I don't remember. He was shooting something and he was just like really angry, and he'd like stabbed his pencil through it or torn it up, and I'd like maybe taped it back together and given it to his mom. Obviously that's why this is like X'd out, because I gave it to his mom and she ended up taking it and giving it to like a child therapist because he started seeing a therapist. But really, I was the one doing the therapy with him because he wasn't getting it anywhere else. Like his parents, like his mom was trying so hard, but like the kid would get really angry and throw his book bag regardless of what was in front of him. And the dad would be like, "Yeah, he's just like I did that too. Isn't that so weird?" And I'm like, "So clearly, some blah blah blah." Sorry for everyone who's watching this video. I'm not going to mention that in the book. But this is the one, like I tried to keep as many as I could. This is one I taped up. I can see there's tape. But he scribbled and he stabbed his pencil through it, and then that's his face, and he's got like tons of holes in it in his own face. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So like, what is that telling you? Here he is again with an arrow going through, and he's like, hey, Mr. Jason, look, that's my brains on the end of the arrow. So, violent, to say the least, but he's still one of my favorite kids. Look at that. He was like, Mr. Jason, I used the side of my pencil, and it was like skin. So it was like, that is a good, you can hard, that's like hard to see, but the eyes and the nose, and he's smiling. So like, you can see the difference emotionally and through the confidence of like, scribble. This was like, it's like a roller coaster. He starts out with nothing, and then he just goes into this like rage, and then the same, and then like this is several days. Like each page is like another day. So it's not like this is just he was angry one day and drew several pictures. This is like an ongoing theme. But then, in the end, we have a really nice one. So I just wish that I could have continued working with them. So now I'm working with you guys instead. Oh man, I'm getting a scanner. It's been like so long, but the book exists. I'm showing you guys the book. I just have to like put it together and do a little writing about each one. Emmeline. Oh my god. Emmeline. I see every single Emmeline called me daddy by accident. Not to be weird or anything, but like the kids would sometimes confuse you for a parent because that's basically what you are to them. You know, the kids wake up, their parents get them ready for school. They're at school all day long. After school, they're at an after school program with me until they get taken home It's like 6 o'clock by then. And then what? They go to bed at like 8 or 9. So these kids are spending like no time with their parents. But I would get them for like how many hours? It was only like 2.5, 3 hours, but like that's a big deal. You're spending that much time with the kid every single day, and you're getting like 20 of them. You start to build some bonds. Oh, Emmy. Oh, Emmy. I guess we can start going faster because we're 30 minutes in, but like, look at that. Oh my goodness. Whoa. It's just like the difference between the beginning and then the end. It's like, I know they're both childhood drawings, but like, this is a childhood drawing that is like, they're not looking in the mirror, they're just making it up. But then this one is, she's really looking in the mirror and like thinking about what she's seeing and translating that onto the paper. And it's just, that is so important. Um, just saying. Ooh, Lola. Lola was a shy girl, but she was instantly better than the other kids at drawing. She was also older than them. She gave herself a monobrow here, but she got a little cocky. I love you, Lola, but like, dang, she is clearly the better of the group, and every single one of them. Look at that. Wow, Lola. Good job. Good job, Lola. She's shading her cheeks and under her eyes, and she's really going for the dark spots. She's beyond seeing just the casual shapes. She's like going for shapes and shading. Whoa. Good job, Lola. There were some age differences, but it was generally like first, second, third grade. The other teaching artists had the older kids, and some of the other teaching artists had the youngest kids. So I was more in the middle. But generally, it was pre-K through sixth grade, and I would have all of them at one point or another. 20 Monday through Thursday, and then 70 on Fridays, because they would put all the kids together. You'd want them to socialize. Art is my dream! Like, that's what she wrote. Isn't that adorable? There's only a couple left. I'm really having fun with this. I hope you guys are too. Oh, Maddie. Look at that. That is a ridiculous drawing of your little pig nose, the triangle, but she wrote love backwards. That's weird. Why'd you do that? She saw that backwards in the mirror and wrote it backwards. Good job, Maddie. She's drawing what she's seeing. I mean, obviously she wasn't walking a dog. That's the struggle. You'd ask the kids, like, draw what you see, and they're just like, not, here she is, it's just her face. That's all I want. And, like, they would have their hair coming down. They were wearing a scrunchie that day. They draw a scrunchie. It's just like, I know that these are still very symbolic shapes, but you gotta start somewhere. Wow. They're getting closer to the reality. Um, and that's not just with drawing, like, oh man. They're bad, but they're so good because, like, I'm sure their parents couldn't even draw as well as their kids could after the training that we went through together. But, like, some days they wouldn't do the exercise. They'd do their own thing and just draw their imagination of themselves. And again, you can tell the difference. They draw like what they're wearing that day. Josie was another like stellar artist. It's just so weird how some of the introverted kids who wouldn't have their chance to shine can shine through, no offense to the other kids who aren't as good as the artists who are good, but like Josie was a self-described artist. Dang, you know? I know that it's like she's slowly being inflated, but it's getting closer to the reality. There you go, your shoulders, your head. She's got a little erase marks, but that's what I want. Just draw what you see in the mirror. And it's just so hard to get people to do that. But that as characterized as they are, it's like you can see at least through the kids who are like better at drawing in every single one they kind of look cartoony, but they still look like the same girl, and they're getting kind of closer to looking more like a girl, you know? And then when you put that next to, oh man, Josie and Lola have the most. But like, yeah, it does kind of look the same because they're drawing the same face. So it's like it's less scary. You know what you're going to do. So Josie, I love bunnies, she writes. But like put all of these together and that's basically what Josie looked like. And then when you compare that to Lola, you know, again, characterized and they all kind of look the same, but that's because that's essentially what Lola looked like, you know? So, like, you can see Lola through her drawings of herself in the same way that you can with Josie. Um, and you can't see that as well in the other kids because they're so abstract. They're just getting the hang of it. Oh, and there's a couple of mine in the back, so I guess we'll just go through those. And you'll see what I look like. Oh, I got these off my wall at home before I moved back to New York. Um, does that look like me? Not really, because my hair is much longer, but like that, I would say is a kind of good drawing. First official paid private drawing lesson, and I performed guitar and sang. That was a funny experience. I'm not the best artist in these drawings. I'm better now. But like these are some that I got off the wall because I would hang them up. But these are better than the drawings that the kids were making, and they would be like, "Oh, these are the ones that I would do in class with the kids." So these are 5-minute drawings that I did with the kids while they were drawing, because we would all do it together. They would draw for 5 minutes, and I would draw with them, and no one would be talking. I would like, you can't draw and talk, and they would always want to whisper to their neighbors and share their drawings and compare. I would be like, 5 minutes. I set the clock on my phone. No talking, no talking, no talking. I really hammered that in, and they would like. That's why I have an entire textbook of kids' portraits, and it's only 5 minutes a day. But there's huge leaps and bounds of improvement, and I just wish that I had continued with them for longer because this is only like a couple weeks of work with them. Drink green tea, it's good for your health. Cheers. So like this is me working with them. Um, you know, it's just a 5-minute drawing. Like what can you do in 5 minutes? These kind of all look like the same person though. Like wouldn't you agree? That one maybe I was distracted, but you can almost see some depth. Like there's the nose is whiter and where's shading around? I don't know. That was like I guess a 10-minute-ish drawing. In class. these were like usually not even 5 minutes. These are like 2 minute drawings, and the kids got twice as long as me because I was always yelling at them to be quiet. Um, oh no! Now that I think about it, I would do a quick drawing of myself while they watched. I don't know why I'm like forgetting that I did all of this. I would do a 30-second ish drawing, maybe. Why am I having such a hard time remembering? These look like maybe I did 30 seconds. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time remembering. There's no way I got them to sit and watch me draw for 5 minutes, but I know that I gave a demo, so I think it may have been like 30. I didn't label how long I drew. I don't I feel like I didn't do that in 30 seconds, but I also don't think I did it for 5 minutes. So, it's just no, it says 5 to 6 minutes. 2 minute demo. So, I would draw for 2 minutes. Um and then that's what most of these drawings are, like a maximum of 2 minutes. Um and then I would have them draw themselves for 5 minutes. So, yeah, again, these are like my 2 minute demos. And I would just scribble it out as fast as I can, and I would be talking while I was doing it. So then I would have the kids go and draw on their own. Um, and then after that, we would have a discussion where they would put their pencils down, sign their name, and date it, and then we would all just walk around the room and do a little parade. I can't remember what I called it, but you'd walk around the room, and then um, it was critique. We would do a critique. So every single time we would go around the room, look at other people's drawings, and then we would give comments on like things that we liked or constructive criticism, but it was mostly just like any comments at all. Um, so that is the highlight of my life, basically. Was working with these kids, and they're now in Austin, and I am now in New York City, and I'm also not with the. Susie's awake. Susie, what are you doing, Susie? What are you doing? Why can't I get her on camera? Susie, do you want to say hi? Ugh! I'll like roll over at 3 o'clock in the morning, and Susie will wake up and then crawl into bed with me because my mattress is on the floor, because there's you walk into the room and then you walk upstairs, and I'm like, why would I want to have an even higher bed frame when the ceilings are like touching the floor? So um this is my little puppy. Oh, little girl Susie. um Go the F back to bed because I'm working right now. um I love this dog. Say goodbye. Bye. Go to sleep. She's another relic of the past, is what I like to call her. Look at that cute little bubba bubba bubba. I love my little poopy baby honey munchkin snuggle bubba. Um, yeah, me and this other person thought that it would be really fun to have a dog. Yada yada yada. Now I have the dog. So, one of my goals in life, among others, such as raising butterflies for the world, is teaching people, especially children, how to draw. And the first and funnest thing to draw is people. So I've got this anatomy book that I've been using, Classic Human Anatomy. I got it at Barnes& and Nobles with like a $60 gift card that my grandma got me, I think, for Christmas or my birthday or something. And I was like, I have all of this money. I want to get a book and not worry about the cost. And I was like, this is a really good book. I'm not it says 5400. It might, I don't remember. It was an expensive book and I was like, I don't care. This was like 20 15 years ago. Um I thought that it would help me learn and I was right, but I didn't know that it would be 15 years later. So it starts out with like, a vague description and an introduction, blah blah blah. It shows you all these nice pictures. Chapter 1 is language, but it shows you naked people. Drawing is fun. You get to see naked people a lot of the time. But it shows you like movements and articulations. But here's what I'm about to get to. Ligaments, tendons. This is really going through the whole thing. Okay, skeletal system. We're mostly adults. I'm sure there's kids or teenagers or whatever, but I feel like what we have in common is that we think drawing is cool. A magical skill to have that anyone can have. Anyone can draw. You just gotta practice. Everyone can draw every day, just a little bit, just like 5 minutes a day. But if you can do 20, do 20. But it's just like Duolingo. Learn a language. Do 5 minutes a day. So this is a really nice. Ooh, wouldn't you love to be able to draw like that? It's possible. You can do it, and we're gonna learn how. I can't believe I'm gonna put in the description to just skip to 50 minutes in if you really want to learn how to draw. But so yeah, same with the kids. This is what we want to draw, and usually you would have a hand mirror or some type of mirror. Um, but I'm not gonna do that right now. So I guess this is a good spot to start. Um, should we do it sideways or frontways? Let's do it frontways. So here's a nice skull. And then here's my notebook. Clean page, but the last couple of pages are drawings that I got out of this anatomy book. See? Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Drawing, drawing, drawing. Some of them are good, some of them are not so good. But like, this is the skull, and from the front and from the side, and teeth and everything. But like, so you can tell that I have drawn these before. Oh, wow, that's a pretty good one. I must have taken a long time to draw that. Maybe not, because I've done them like several times over by now. Um, this is already a 50-minute video, so maybe rather instead of me just drawing the skull like I was originally going to do, I think I will start with that next time. And this time I will give an example of what I would do with the kids because I haven't done this in a long time. And I made this video because I want to get back into drawing because I haven't drawn since um December 4th. No. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. October was the last time I drew. And I was into it. October 4th, 3rd, 1st, 2nd. So, there was a couple weeks where I was drawing every day and I was really into it because I was like drawing well. Um, ears, lips, nose. These are good. I'm like, look at that. Those were, I drew all the eyes in the book. You know, I basically just drew the first chapter I mean, it's the second chapter, but like, um, it goes into muscles. Uh, yeah, you gotta do the skull, then the muscles, then the skin on top. But you don't really. I'm gonna show you guys what I mean. I was like drawing people. This is way old, from a long time ago. I'm like, is there even anything in here that's worth showing off? Not really. I had like watched a YouTube video of people posing, and I had done like 30-second poses of them. So yeah. And then after that, I was drawing out of the anatomy book. So I'm thinking next time I'll draw out of the anatomy book, and this time I'll do a 5-minute portrait, and then we'll finish up the video at a 1 hour. I don't want to use my nice book, but I will. If you're drawing really well for a little streak, and then you have to go back to drawing after a while, well, you can be drawing for a long time and be doing really well, and then be like, oh my god, I can't keep up this streak of drawing really well. And then the thought of you drawing bad is like what makes you stop drawing. And then you're like not as good because you stopped. So even if you're bad, you should just keep going. So I'm pulling the plastic off of this Kurutoga lead, which I'm going to put into a... Why is it not closing? Come on, close. I hope this is... I'm putting in from the front instead of the back because I'm not sure if it's the right size, but it actually feels like it fits. Don't break, don't break, don't break, don't break. So yeah, I got this really cool pencil. It's a mechanical pencil that as you draw, it automatically rotates the tip so that you don't have to rotate the pencil in order to keep a sharp edge, because otherwise you'd be drawing and the edge would flatten out and then you'd like have a not good line. But this has you always having it on the sharp side. I don't know how it works, but that's how it is. So let's set the timer. My phone is what's actually recording the video, so I can only look at the computer. So it's 2:12 a.m. now. We are 54 minutes into the video, so at 59 minutes, I will stop. So, usually what you do when you're drawing is you'd pick out like where you want to be at the top and where you want to be at the bottom. So I want my head to be about that big, and I'm looking at my head in the camera, and I'm seeing that I'm slightly tilted to the side, but like there's my chin, and I see my forehead, And my nose. There's my eyes. So when you're drawing, you want to start out like really generally, like you're just suggesting where things are because they could always move around later. In fact, if you're drawing well, like that's probably what's going to happen. So block in like what you think is some darker stuff. There's my hands. Um, that's my other shoulder. I'm just checking. Um, my shoulder is like coming out from behind my head, but a little bit higher than my hand. You're always kind of like measuring. Here's my hair. Oop, I'm like going off camera. That's better. So, yeah, when you're just starting out, you can really like use your finger and measure stuff out, but with experience, it just kind of becomes the natural thing that you do is you just measure in your mind, but you still do measure just in your mind. So I've got a general face down that you can barely see what I'm doing. Um, but yeah, I've got a good face to work on because it's got an eye and a nose and another eye. I've got the basic placement of stuff, so I guess I kind of like to start in the middle ish of my face. Um, I see I've got a nose. Here's like the ball of the nose, and I've got a nostril that kind of comes in like that. There's like a shadow on the nose here, and then a shadow on the bridge of the nose, and then here's my eyebrow, which is very dark. And then right under my eyebrow is my eye, which is looking this way. And then directly on the other side of that is my other eye, which I think I may have done too big and too far away. So I'm not making it too dark yet because I might move it. My other eyebrow. My hair is like all the way up here. And it swoops out. Loop, swoop, swoop, swoop. Swoop, swoop, swoop. And there's like a shadow on the side of on the whole side of my face over here. Ooh, ooh, I think I really funked up over on my eye. My eye's like here-ish. Look how cross-eyed I am. That's stupid. I look stupid. Getting your eyes in the right spot is like just something you gotta keep practicing. I'm wearing like headphones. Um, Once you start to get the measurements, you can be like, okay, so the eyes are in the middle of the face. So like, there's my chin, there's the top of my head. So like, that's actually pretty close. So making it a little bit higher because my hair is sticking from the top of my skull, but that's basically how it is. Do 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 do. My ear is coming out from behind the headphone. It's weird because the headphone's black, but the light's shining on it, making it white. And my hair is black, but it's like black on black, but one is mostly white, which is funny. So right under my ears, my chin, and then it comes down. There's like a little angle. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I've got this nice little mustache thing going on. Ooh, there's a big giant speakerphone right in front of my mouth. I've never drawn that before. How interesting. So let's make that the biggest and the darkest and kind of roundy. And then my chin is like, oh, it's kind of like here actually. So if that's that, and that's kind of coming up like that. I didn't really do the best job on this picture, but there's my lipola kinda. Do 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 do. It's like usually darker under a person's nose. And there's like a shadow behind the other side of the nose. Do 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 do. I know this isn't the best drawing, everybody, but I haven't been drawing in a... Oh, I have like ringlets in my hair. That's beautiful. I haven't drawn my hair in like a long time, everybody. Um, October, November, December, January. It's been like 3 months, so my hair is just longer than it has been. I almost want to like exaggerate some of these colors because I have artificial light and you can't really see what's going on. Do 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 do. Unless I kind of force it. Do 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 do. I mean, it does look like a person. Like a freaking person. This whole thing needs to be more shaded. Got like these nice little cheekbone-ish thingies going on. I'm like forgetting the color in the beardo. Here's more beardy, and oh, I forgot my hand was kind of coming out like that. I'm wearing like a bracelet, and my shirt's kind of just like under my neck, but you know, it's still there. La 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 la. Maybe more defined on the edges over here. What an interesting time I'm having remembering how to draw. What interested me when I first came to drawing, one of my first art lessons in LaGuardia High School was, I'm pretty sure, Mr. Nunez. And he was like, drawing is one of those few skills that you could put down and then come back later in your life and still basically pick up where you left off. And I was like, no way. I love that because I will start projects and then stop them all the time, but I want to come back to them. So like obviously even though I haven't drawn since October, it's like I can still draw. Like I'm kind of happy with the way this is coming out so far. He's like a cute little pouty guy that I've got going on. Do 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 do, and then put like a little shadow in my shirt. Do 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 do, and the shadow in the shirt's going this way. You know. Do 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 do. Put a little color in it to make it. See, like you totally can't tell that this is my hand, which is funny. So I would have to like put arm hairs on it or something. That just looks like my shoulders coming out. You would never know that that was like a hand and a wrist. Putting on a bracelet. Do 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 do. Maybe if I show like the shirt coming down or something, but you could never. But if you're looking at the picture, you'd really just be looking at the eyes and the nose and the mouth. Like, I put the eyes so far apart. That's hilarious. Do 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 do. Always make sure you like define the eyes, because they're like the most important part. So if you were to practice one thing to start out with, I would say practice drawing your eyes. Just go to any mirror, get any kind of pencil, and just go at it. Come up with something good. And remember, drawing is a freeing, fun, social experience. You're being basically social with yourself. You're like having a dialogue. Um, and then as like as a side thing, you'll have a notebook full of fun drawings that you get to look back on. But you're not doing it to fill up a book. You're doing it because you love drawing. So now I just have like a lot of hair. It's weird looking at it in the camera because it's so like different than what I'm used to seeing. It's like a whole nother drawing. Just to finish up, I want to really define that this headset is like different from my head, even though I kind of just messed it up because I was drawing without even looking at the headset for like a minute. So that's not good. Do 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 do. Trying to get the headset to look a little bit more defined. Oh, that's what's going on. I gotta get a shadow on the inside and define the lines a little bit more. And then put a little shadow on it to make it look like a black grape. And then go back to connecting it. I forgot to look again. You gotta be looking at what you're drawing the whole time. If you're not, it's gonna look bad. Like here's my my hair that I totally like left out. And there's my ear. Ba, 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 ba. Put a little hair going out that way just because I want it to look. Ooh, I put hair going in one direction, and then I cross the hair going the other direction right on top of it, so it stopped looking like hair. That's kind of what I'm up to now. Is like I think hair just takes more patience because you've got to draw like every single hair. But some people are really good at like gesturing hair. Is that how I'm really trying to say? Um, like you don't always have to draw it exactly. Sometimes you can just hint at it. I ruined it. Maybe just a little more shading, but I don't want to do any more because I was happy with it and now it's just getting like progressively worse. It's because I don't really know what's going on over here. It's like my cheek is here and la 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 la, but now I'm just getting all saggy. Um, do 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 do. I think I need to make the dark things much darker, but that risks ruining the picture. So I think that's something that as a new artist you're going to learn how to like balance in the beginning. Like you can't be afraid to use dark shadows. Um but you can't overuse them either. Because you can overwork a drawing. So don't underwork it, but don't overwork it either. That's kind of like a handsome dude. I'm gonna stop now because oh whoa, I'm at 110. That was like a 10-minute drawing because I kept stopping and talking and stuff. So I'm gonna say it was like a 10-ish min draw. Self portrait. If I really wanted to define myself, I could like. I don't know if that works though. I've never really gotten good at doing that. Did I just ruin it? I'm like, how can I make the background look like a background? Do 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 do. When drawing, it's just really important to separate the object from the background. And that's just something that is very basic, but most people never really come to terms with before learning how to draw. It's like negative space, what's that? But it's actually very important. See my eyebrow, like it's a tough eyebrow, I gotta say. It's big and it's dark, and this eye is in like 3 different places. Honestly, the eye should end here. Like the eye started over here and then worked its way over here. And I realized that it had to be further in, so I added this over here. So the eye is technically started over here and ending over here. But it's really supposed to be like half as big. I always give myself like these fish eyes that are like this far apart. And it's always so flat. So, just adding a couple dark spots, like under the lips is another one, like along the edge. Make sure you've got nice clean edges, clean up your lines. That is a bad drawing of myself. 1/14/2021. That's a really bad 14. Um, what do we want to say in this drawing? Trump got impeached today. See, like maybe it's not the best drawing, but putting it next to tomorrow's drawing would be really good because now this is going to be a daily thing because this is just going to be a longer video. Sometimes they would go a little extra in my classes. The kids' parents would be late. So Trump got impeached today. Got impeached second time today! Exclamation point. Which I'm very happy about because we've had a fake president for so long that it's like literally ruined the country. Um, so just before I go, doing a little critique on myself. Something that you can do is turn it upside down, and I can already tell that this is like the longest face I've ever seen, which is hard for you to tell because the camera is distorting it. So I would probably want to take my hair out a little bit longer. I mean wider. Just do 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 do. Putting in a little bit more from a beardo. Do 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 do. Oh, you know what? Maybe that's what was bothering me. No, that didn't really help much. So yeah. You looks like a little pouty baby. No, I'm not a baby. I'm just kidding. I've raised kids. Goodness, we've almost had to call the fire department when they get their knees stuck in the jungle gym, and then you have to run to the bathroom and get soap, and then grease up their knee, and then pick them up under the armpits and yank them out of the fucking jungle gym, and then the other kids are like, "Oh, I wonder if that'll happen to me," and then they start intentionally sticking their knees in the jungle gym bars. I'm like, cheers to parenthood. So I liked this exercise. I used to do it every day with my kids, and it's something I started with myself. I was inspired by a project by Alex Stoddard, I'm pretty sure, who basically became famous on the internet after doing a 365 project for photography, doing a picture every day. And I was like, well, I'm going to do a portrait every day. And then I decided that I would do a book of 500 drawings because I was like, how could you possibly be bad at drawing yourself after drawing yourself 500 times? It's kind of like in Naruto, like messing up over and over and over, but getting better each time. So that's why in some of my older drawings, oh, let's see, this one is 361, 351, so that's like 10 later because I was counting down from 500, so I've gotten a good chunk. 354. So, I mean, I've drawn at least 200 self-portraits, and they're still basically looking like this. Oh, it's nice. You can kind of see it better when I lift up the camera. Um, Not to say that that's a bad drawing. It is very basic. It's got the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the eyebrows. You can see hair for hair. I even put in a little bit of a background. So, for an artist who's had formal training, who never practices, I would say that that's not bad. For someone who has dreams, my dream is to have a book of portraits, but that is only the effect of me practicing drawing myself every day because in order to draw yourself well, I mean, if I were to sit down and take an hour and really scrutinize the drawing and take my time, I could probably do a really good drawing, and I should do that because I've never really in the last couple of years taken the time to like sit down and really give an effort. I've put all of my focus onto like casually drawing. I just want to just etch out a drawing with a pencil. I just think that that is the coolest thing. Seeing someone on the side of the road in Central Park where they set up an easel and they do a portrait of someone in 20 minutes and it looks exactly like that person. Um, I don't want to go for photorealism. I can just take a picture with a camera which I also do. Check me out on Instagram, Green Valley 0.0 and Butterfly Square Garden. I just think that it is a more magical talent to just be like, oh da 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 da, and I'm just talking and do 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 do, and like a 5 minute drawing that looks exactly like the person, but instead of like like shading in very carefully, I want to just like cross hatch. I kind of did that over here. Like you can see some hatching. I'm not cross hatching, I'm just hatching in one direction. Um, that's just something that I guess comes with practice, and you definitely have to practice hatching and cross hatching. So I'll do that practicing with the shading. But you also have to learn like in the field, I guess. Because like you're just drawing the shapes, like the nose. There's like a ball on the end of your nose, so you draw like rounded lines, and in the mustache, like clearly the lines are going down, and in my hair, the swoop is up this way. So drawing is really just feeling it out. Start out basic, draw the oval of the head, the eyes go in the middle, the nose goes like almost halfway down, the lips is like almost in between that. The ear, if you're looking straight on, would generally stop at your nose. So you just learn how to line these things up. I guess I'm better at like getting better at lining things up, and then you look at the face and you're like, oh, well, the dimensions of the face, if the light is coming from this direction, then that means that this whole side of the face is darker. So, I mean, maybe I didn't do the best job of articulating that, but it's because I don't want the drawing to get muddy, because if you just keep drawing on top of the drawing, it just looks bad. Like what I did with the eye over here. I like barely touched the eye and the nose over here, and I'm like really happy with that. So I'm just copying things that I've seen other people do. Like you can see in this anatomy book, I'm gonna do. Ooh, I didn't do the right thing. Like the drawings in this book, people are using charcoal and they're taking their time, and it's just like a really beautiful skill to have. They're using toned paper, so they're using the dark charcoal, but then they're using like a white chalk. I want to get that. That's kind of the next level, because I'm not drawing in the highlights. And I think if I were to draw in the highlights, that would like instantly make the drawing look more three-dimensional. Um, but like just because the skin is covering the whole face doesn't mean you have to shade in the whole face. You could, but then that would just mean the darkers have to go darker. And like if you shade a highlight, then everything that's darker than the highlight has to be shaded. So, these are just simple things that you just learn how to work on. Is there anything else that it's like really fun to look at in this textbook? You guys want to see some like naked people in the end? Um, I'm gonna do this for a couple weeks of like drawing my anatomy and drawing myself, but then I'm gonna get back into drawing like these are gesture drawings, 2 minute action studies, but like they're just really good. Figure drawing is so cool. So, if you want a drawing of yourself or anything, like come to my place and I'll draw ya because I need to practice. Or we can do it through online, like I'll draw you through the camera. So wouldn't that be fun? This is now an hour and a half video in, and I'm very passionate about art. I'm very passionate about teaching art helped me become a better artist. It's just such a nice way to express yourself, you know. I know that people think that it's important to talk about your feelings and stuff, but like, what if you have a feeling that you don't even have words to describe? What do you do then? And what if you don't even have anyone to talk to? What do you do then? There's just something so big about doing this for 5 minutes a day. It's like therapy, but better because it's free and it's fun and it feels good. So I want to just make it an even hour and 30 minutes. So I've got all my magic seer stones. Painting my nails gives me the same sensation and vibration as the stones, except this washes off. It's very superficial, and these are more like rocky. Oh, the rose quartz fell out. What does that mean? Boop, 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 boop. Ask the stones a question. I won't even say anything. You read. You read it. So what do you see? I'm seeing like obviously it's kind of like in a triangle. Um, and the greens are in the points of the triangle, and the roses two are together and two together, and one fell off on the side, with the amethyst in the middle, and I don't know the name of this one. So yeah, you just interpret the stones. You can say that's the sky and that's the earth. You can say they're birds. Birds show up a lot in magic and in bringing messages. The more you draw, the stronger your magic will be. That's another thing that happens if you want to be a stronger magician or a witch. Um, bones, bones. What do you ask the bones? What do you ask the bones? What's tomorrow going to be like? So again, the amethyst is in the center-ish, almost in the same spot. The green small quartz went all the way on the side, so that's like an outlier. And this weird one is in the sky. So I'm thinking like a alien UFO. Oh my goodness, is gonna be watching us. And maybe this is like the people and the government, and there's still a big rock in the center of the government, but I'm still seeing a little outlier of something on the side. But I'm not getting any particularly bad vibes. I'm getting like a clean vibe, but I'm still getting a little bit of alien. So maybe I'll put an alien in my drawing tomorrow, and then it'll be a self-fulfilling prophecy. So yeah, 2 minutes to go. I wanted to start doing like a random dancing thing, just like iCarly, in my videos, but it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning now, and I'm probably not gonna want to do that with the roommates who are asleep downstairs. I might just sneak outside for a quick smoke. I'm very excited because I'm possibly getting in the mail. I ordered a keyboard, so that might come by Saturday, and if it does, I would be very, very excited to start playing some music for y'all and for myself because we can track our progress with our drawing and with our music. So again, if you've watched this whole video, like, I hope that you enjoyed going through the book of children's drawings and enjoying um, the psychology and the progress of building your confidence and, you know, the ease of learning how to draw and feeling comfort and joy and ease and just ease. I want you to like just naturally draw when you're holding a pencil. And I hope maybe that inspired you to do something. Do you want to say goodbye, Jason? Um, Goodbye, everybody. Does that look like me? It kind of looks like me. It doesn't not look like me. You know, if I were to have 30 and that's kind of what happens. I know I'm running over time here, but if you have 100 drawings of yourself and you don't think that they look like you, if you have 100 drawings of yourself and you have 100 drawings of someone else that doesn't necessarily look like that person either, if you can tell that they're two different people, drawing wise, I think that that's like a huge success. I don't think the drawing has to look perfect, but if you get the essence of it, then you'll get there. So, I don't know. I want to see how you guys are doing. I don't need everyone out there to be a perfect artist. You all got to start somewhere. So, I've got this really good book called Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain, and I'm going to probably use that as a reference a lot. And tomorrow we will draw our portrait again, but also do the skull like we were talking about. And I don't know, there's a ton of fun. I've got like a laundry list of stuff. We can do yoga, we can do juggling, we can do ribbon dancing and gymnastics. I literally did a video of just cleaning the space. If you haven't noticed, the desk had been completely cleared. I still need to introduce you to my plants and walk you around my crib because all I've been showing you is my thistle patch over here. Hey, thistle patch. Yep, to the artificial intelligence who's watching this video in order to get a better grasp on human behavior. Not a good example. I'm a pretty weird guy who makes videos at 3 o'clock in the morning. So much love to everybody. Draw yourself 5 minutes a day. You know, that's why drawing is the best of all of the arts. You know, if you want to learn an instrument, that costs money. You got to go get the instrument. Or singing, like la 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 la, and dancing. Honestly, like I feel like instruments is hard. Like in LaGuardia, no offense, but it was mostly the rich kids who were in instrumental because the parents could afford to like buy them the instruments and then also buy them like tutoring outside of class because these when you grow up next to like these kids, it was there, everyone was famous. It was like everyone was so incredibly talented. Like all you LaGuardians watching this, like alumni friends, wow, talented. And it's sad to say that after I left, literally the year after I left, um, the school started focusing more on academics and like almost not at all on the arts. But they're kind of getting back on track because the kids were doing like walkouts and protests, and I'm pretty sure they made the principal resign. So artists get shit done. Um, I almost don't want to say goodbye. I'm having so much fun talking to you guys. Every video isn't like this. I've had some pretty bad videos, but I've got to upload them too. Because all content is good content. Um, I think it says it's overloaded, so I'm going to stop the video at the risk of this not even making it to the internet. So, love ya, much love, and I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget to draw and wear a mask and wash your hands because it's a pandemic. And I wish I could say more. I'll just have to wait till tomorrow. Bye. I'll talk more in the comments below and in the section, I don't know, description. Again, bye. Oh, it's been upside down the whole time. Bye, 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 bye.